right, folks. Amin is checking into his hotel room right now. This is what we call a Galactic Senate filibuster. So if you have any questions or anything you want to throw in the chat for the next 5 to 10 while we get set up here, go ahead and do that. And we'll dive into Andor episodes 4, 5, and 6. Or I could just play soundboard sounds for the entire time. If it works.
Not yet.
There you go. That's good timing right there. I mean, that felt like a good 7 seconds.
Oh, fuck. I like that gun. You knew I'd like that gun. Yes, the Ching. That's one of the nicest guns I've seen in a long time. I can't wait to shoot that fucker.
Do you believe Andor and Bix are married, or she is just calling him her husband for a cover story? I feel like they are not married. I don't know what that would entail. They're on the run, so I don't think they can. Definitely not legally married, whatever that means in Star Wars Galaxy, because that would be yes, Sionji, they are fucking. Yes, we put that together. We figured out that they're fucking. The question was, are they married? And I don't think they're married officially, but you know, maybe you put a little bread pie thing around her finger or something, and it's a promise. So maybe that'll happen. Adam Palau. So when Mon was talking about finding a number, Tay is trying to extort them for money to keep quiet. Yeah. So Tay Kolma, he was losing. He helped her launder money in season 1, and then when he comes to her in season 2, he's essentially blackmailing her and saying, "Hey, you know, I'm actually losing money now. I see you got what you needed. You got Davos Skulden. You worked something out with him. You got your kids married together. That's all well and good. My life's falling apart. My wife left me. I need more cash." And Mon thought that she could settle it, I guess, by scheduling a meeting later on, but Luthen had other ideas. He doesn't get down like that. And also, you know, obviously we're never going to see it or get there, but I didn't have a whole lot of confidence that Mon was going to be able to placate him with some cash. I feel like he was pretty deeply unhappy and spiraling, so it was probably not going to work out for him no matter what. That's my take on that. Plus, he was drinking a lot. He was unreliable. Who knows what he could have let slip or already did, you know? I mean, I guess if he had said something already a year later, so probably would have had ramifications. Do you think we see Galen Erso, played by Mads Mikkelsen? I think no. That's my guess. I mean, maybe we do, because I know the Death Star is going to be in. Like, we see the Death Star at some point, so it's possible we see Galen Erso. But I'm not. What do you think, Amin? Do you think we see Galen Erso?
I think maybe like in a throwaway scene, probably towards the either episode 8 or not, or to episode like 10 or 11 in the last arc, basically. Maybe.
Anything more than a cameo, or would it?
No, I don't think
be, so. This is him.
It would probably be like Krennic walking in and be like, "What's going on?" And then they're like, "Oh shit, we're working on it, guy. We're trying." You know, something like that.
That's why I lean towards no, is because I think it's kind of a waste of Mads Mikkelsen at that point.
Oh yeah, and like, look, if Jimmy Smits wasn't available, right? Like, you know, Jimmy Smits had a conflict. Like, I was like, doing what? Like, I mean, I like no disrespect to Jimmy Smits, but buddy, what were you up to? What couldn't have, like, look, they got Michael J. Fox out of Family Ties to do Back to the Future. I think, especially considering how small the scene was, you just walk up.
Well, he's not done.
Hey, oh, there's more. There's more Benjamin Bratt
Not
coming.
not in this three arc, but
Yeah.
I'm guessing in the next one or the one after that.
Yeah. No, it's I mean, yeah, whatever it is. I mean, like, I don't know. I just feel like, Jimmy Smith, unless you I wonder where they shot this though. Maybe that's it, right? Maybe it's one of those things because they shot it in England or something like that. That's what makes it
They did
hard.
shoot it in England for sure. That's
Yeah.
why 90% of the cast is European.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, so that makes it sound like you're anti Benjamin Bratt. I guess we'll start
No, I'm
there.
not. I'm not. It's just, to me, Jimmy Smith's played him in the prequels, played him in Rogue One, played him in Obi-Wan, voiced him in Rebels. It's like the guy's available, he's the right age and everything. It's like, I mean, I get it. I'm not putting this on the production. If the dude said no, then you got to move on to the next best candidate. And I think Benjamin Bratt is a great candidate. It's funny, they somehow found another Hispanic actor with an anglicized name who starred on a police procedural. It's just like, oh, there couldn't possibly be two of them. Yes, there are.
The only thing on Jimmy Smith's IMDb is Dexter Resurrection.
Come on, bro.
You telling me you can pry him away from Dexter?
You got it. Yeah, you got to call in sick to Dexter or some shit.
Disney, you're letting Showtime outbid you here.
I don't see, that's the thing, and that's the other question. Is like it was the reading that I had on it. Some of it was like, well, it's just conflict or whatever, and then some of it was kind of like there was, how much are you gonna pay? Like, how, are you gonna make it worth my while? And it sounds like Tony Gilroy was like, nah, it's good. I'll just go to Law and Order from NYPD Blue.
All right, let's get it rolling.
Yeah. Is there an intro or just intro right here?
Do the intro right here.
Okay, all right. Welcome to another episode of Darth Amin's Rule of Two. I am the Sith Lord, Darth Amin. At my side is my apprentice, Darth Cornpuzzle, aka Anthony Mays. This is the podcast where we review everything Star Wars whenever they release new shit. And of course, they've released Andor Season 2, so that's what we're reviewing. If you were with us yesterday for the live show where we did episodes 1, 2, 3, well, welcome back. If you weren't with us, don't worry. It's on YouTube and it's on the Spotify feed, the Cinephobe Spotify feed. So make sure you're locked in here. I'm coming to you from the rooftop of my hotel. I look like a complete tool with my little setup, my little laptop and my microphone and everything. But
I think you look like you are outside. It's a nice sunny day in Gorman. You're drinking some of that tea. You're in Neamos? Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah. That's where I'm at, yeah. Complete with the music in the background. Gorman, look, we're going to, as we established yesterday, if you're new today, 4, 5, 6, these are 3 episodes at a time. It's a lot. We can't go fine-tooth comb like we usually do with these things. So we're going to go like broad strokes over the entirety of the 3-episode arc because that's the only way you can do this. And so let me just start with, because I was surprised by listening to some other reviews and reading some other reviews that people took Gorman to be like France, World War II. And I said, nope, these people are supposed to be Jewish. every part of what like Gorman, the way Gorman is framed, these are Jews. Everything about they think they're better than us, and all that like Nazi rhetoric, like that's the Jews that they're talking about, right? And then when you add into it like the specialization in craftsmanship,
fashion,
right? Fashion and craftsmanship and stuff, which is again the language to my ear, it sounded like Yiddish.
The language to me sounded French, so that was the biggest thing for me. And they cast a lot of French actors.
They did, but
the pronunciation sounded French, and then I got thrown off because I legitimately thought they were speaking French for a while before I realized that it was made up Gore
Okay,
language.
so this is my rebuttal. My rebuttal would be, like, think about this is gonna sound real dumb, but it is pretty accurate. Think about Zohan's accent. If you don't mess with the Zohan, like there are elements of it that sound a little bit on the French side, but also there's elements of it that sound like I said, like Yiddish. So I don't know, man. I'm like everything about it to me screamed like, oh yeah, the Gormans are Jewish. Like that's what this is all about. I did, I see WVU grad, you bring up something that also triggered in my mind, which is some made up language. Are these actors, like, are they improving at all, or are they, man, like,
You can't be. It's
but,
got to
like,
be.
you
It's got to
create
be.
a whole language? There's so
Yeah.
much that was said.
I mean, I wanted to do some reading on that because I was pretty fascinated with that element of the Gorman creation, because it's an extensive culture and world that they've built, like the fashion of it, the architectural design. When you see the opening shot of episode 4, or actually I think we start with Cassian and Bix, but then the next thing you see is Syril going to work, like literally commuting, walking to work, and it's such a big set. It's so dope, like how much detail and thought goes into this stuff. I mean, people out there create languages for shows, man. Like,
No, man,
it's
but
rare, but it happens.
It just it felt like, wow, they really went a little too deep with this one, man. Like, it was incredible. It was incredible, and it felt so real, right? In a way that Hatiz doesn't.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. It's the pronunciation, it's the accent that felt real.
Yes.
And it felt, if not French, definitely European.
Ian Campbell says, no expense was spared. Yes, there was an expense spared. Jimmy Smith's. That was an expense that was spared.
That's my quote. Okay.
It's Crashmore. He Crashmored on us.
He Crashmored us. You need me to show up and do even one cameo? You got to pay me another $2 million. All right.
Oh my God. So yeah, no, but yes, it felt very European. The streets, the cafe, the hotel lobby, like all of it was so well done. Even like the architecture of the buildings, the columns, everything was incredible. But when Luthen tells Cassian, I need you to go to Gorman, did you expect, like, oh shit, he's gonna run into Syril, like, of all places? Like, oh, what are you doing here? Or did you have the vibe that they were gonna do the, oh, I just left and you just got here thing?
I didn't think they were gonna run into, I mean, they were coming very close, but I didn't think they were gonna run into each other, because that would kind of blow everything up too quick. And this feels like Gorman is going to be the centerpiece of this season.
Yeah,
it was mentioned in the first arc. This was the beginning of it. It's definitely going to be big factor in the next 3, and then we'll see if it is still going.
No, I mean,
we final 3.
We know for a fact there's a massacre that's going to happen. The Gorman massacre. That's the event that makes Mon Mothma basically say, "I can't be a part of this Senate anymore," and she points the finger at the Emperor after that. So that's gonna happen, and everything is leading up to that. Obviously, everything that the Empire is doing on Gorman is on purpose. This is all like a charade. What they're really after is the calcite. What type of calcite is it?
Foliated
calcite, right? So that's what they're after, and they're just trying to start trouble so that they could get an excuse to either mass evacuate or, as a massacre, everybody there. So we know that's what's happening. That's what's going to happen this season. What's happening right now is Mon Miro's plan is going. Mwah. It couldn't work any better, right?
Yeah.
Now, were you surprised to see? Okay, actually, I won't say because you had already seen it yesterday. WVU grad, I'm very in the chat. I'm very disappointed in you because yesterday you tried to say Syril was incompetent in this arc. Where, bro? He set him up perfectly. He had them believing that he's actually a sympathizer. That he's
And
like,
they
oh, you guys.
They used his incompetent backstory. They used his dismissal from the cops, the space cops, as justification for like his potential anger with and frustration with the Empire.
Of course, he got fired by ISB. Of course, he hates ISB. The whole tantrum when ISB came to do the sweep, and he fights and he gets arrested and he comes back.
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious. He was pretty ass-odd. Syril was ass-odd, but
when he kicked,
the actor was great.
Yeah. When he kicks the phone or whatever it was on the ground. Come on. It reminded me of Job. It reminded me of Job. It's a $2,000 suit. Come on.
I'm a supervisor. A supervisor of a standards office. Come on.
Also, the fact that his mom was the cover, as Ian Campbell in the chat says, because she's totally eating up the propaganda. It says, "Hey, what are those spiders called? Girlectopods." Ew, the way she just, oh my god, it's just so well done. I want to bounce around a little bit, Maze, because there's a bunch of things that I found so fascinating. Good Morning Coruscant. I love that show. I love that they have like a
their production
GMA.
value is trash, dude. That's
just
fucking Bronx Beat from SNL, but like with the green screen, basically.
Come
it was
on, man.
So cheap.
I want to talk about parties, political parties. Oh my god! I would watch a whole like, you know how like in Grand Theft Auto, I can't remember which one it was, but it's like you could walk in a room and turn on the TV, and like Ricky Gervais is doing stand up on the TV, and like you could actually sit there and watch an entire maybe like 15 minutes of Ricky Gervais like stand up on the TV inside the game. I would love that. I would love just to sit down and watch Good Morning Coruscant. Just these two painted up broads, the Kathy Lee and Hoda of Star Wars.
Ian Campbell, shouts to you. All right, well let me walk you through it a little bit, because this was kind of how I wanted to go through these episodes. So we start with Cassian and Bix in their Coruscant safe house, and Bix is really spinning out, man. She's still having these nightmares of the torturer. And then they had this like mystery guy in there who I guess is somebody they killed right before on their last mission. So we don't even know who that is.
It's an imp. It's just an imp.
Yeah. And they have a whole argument, and essentially she's not sure if Cassian killed him because he had to, or if because he could compromise Bix. And so one of the themes of this 3-episode arc is Bix a liability for Cassian?
Right.
And I think undoubtedly she is. And I think by the time we get to Rogue One, you're seeing the Cassian who does not have a Bix liability anymore. So poor Bix, things are not going to end well for her, even though she does get a little win at the end of these episodes. And what does she do when he leaves on another mission?
Turn the stuff.
Drops and Good Morning Coruscant. Just endless on loop. Daytime television.
What is the stuff? What is the stuff? That's what I want to know. Is it spice in a different form? I need the Star Wars what's the word? Paraphernalia? Not paraphernalia.
The
control substance list.
Yeah. I think of drops, especially the way she used it, as like white wine and painkillers.
Yeah. Yep.
Whatever gets this day done the quickest.
Yep.
So Luthen sends Cassian to Gorman, and his alias is Varian Sky, a fashion designer with hair slicked back, real good.
Yeah. You would not have liked Varian Sky very much.
He gets to Gorman, he orders some sloppy steaks, but he's dressed to the nines. The shades are tight. The clothes are sick. Like he's looking good. And
He's in character
Syril,
too.
Cyril's also there. Tells his mom he's been transferred. She doesn't understand, but we all know that he's there for Dedra.
Yeah.
And so once again, like those two are operating against each other.
So I read this somewhere. It's like that Syril and Cassian are parallels.
Yeah.
Right.
From the
Both
beginning.
guys, yeah, from the very beginning, fatherless, raised by mothers, but one had a mother that was like taught him to stand up for himself, and the other one was taught him to seek approval. And then because of a misunderstanding, their lives are thrown into kind of like a tailspin, and one falls on the rebellion side and one falls on the on the Empire side. And then even within this arc right here, Syril in essence is going undercover to Gorman as like someone who is a sympathizer to the Ghorman Front, whereas Cassian goes undercover as someone who's just like, hey man, I'm just here to live, you know.
Yeah, I love them both being there and both interacting with the Ghorman Front. And Syril successfully, he infiltrates, he feeds them info, and what they want to know is what's this big ass building being built in the center of town, and what are these shipments that don't have logs listed for what's being transported in. And we know from the conference that it's an armory, and they're brazenly building it, defying all treaties and codes,
but also very poorly disguising it. Again, this is all the brilliance of the plan, is that we're going to do this thing that is offensive and is wrong, but we're going to do it in secrecy, but it's going to be a very open secret, as Cassian points out. Like when the Ghorman Front says, hey, this is what we want to do. And he's like, for what? To prove that this building is that everyone already knows is an armory, Like,
yeah, that's what he tells Luthen. He's like, what are we getting out of this? But
yeah,
he continues, Cassian continues to be really unimpressed with all these amateur hour operations, especially these Gormans who are brand new to any sort of insurgency or fight. Like they don't even know how to shoot, essentially.
One of my favorite lines is when one of them asks him, have you ever done anything like this before? And he doesn't even give him a response. He's just like, come on, man.
Why do you think I'm here? You know?
The other thing, when you say the big picture of Partagaz and Luthen, and they're both, in essence, throwing everything under the bus, right? Like Gorman is just a means to an end.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that Cassian, I mean, I know I'm jumping around, but like that's Cassian's issue with Luthen, is he realized
their conflict is fascinating, and I want to dig into that a little bit after I give some more exposition. But he sniffs out that this is a trap. He doesn't know why or what, but he tells them essentially, like, they feed information to people all the time. Like, this is what they do. Why you're eating it out of their hand? Like, wake up. And he tells Carol Rylands, I got questions, dude. I'm not helping you guys out. No questions asked. And then Carol Rylands, I'm very disappointed. I'm gonna tell your supervisor that I'm giving you a 1-star review. It's like, okay, cool, dude.
Knock yourself out.
So he goes back to Luthen. They have the meeting on the ship, and it was nice to see Luthen's ship again. I love that ship.
Yeah, the Hallcraft.
Mm-hmm. And so this argument that they have about Gorman, Luthen tells him, you're thinking small, you're thinking like a thief. Cassian rebuts, I'm thinking like a soldier, and he says, think like a leader.
Now, that's from the trailer, and it sounded very cool and noble in the trailer. In the context of what's happening here, Luthen's a real piece of shit. It's like he's talking about think like a leader, meaning these are pawns. They're supposed to be expendable. Like he's like, think about it, like Gorman being a part of this, that could be huge, but he doesn't actually care about what's going to happen to Gorman. He cares that Gorman is part of this movement, and that if something awful happened to Gorman, that would galvanize people across the galaxy to
It would
join
get a
the
lot of
movement.
attention
It's
because it's a high profile tier 1 planet, right? And
yeah,
and
it's an
people would notice.
inner rim. Yeah, it's a core system.
So it'd be a big deal if that became, and that's why he sent Cassian in the first place. He's like, if we could get the Gormans on our side, that would make waves for us in terms of like recruiting or awareness, etc.
Yeah.
But my question is like, clearly he doesn't know how bad the Empire wants this.
Right.
He's yelling at Lonnie, "What's the end game, Spence?"
Yes.
And he doesn't know that they're basically ready to wipe the whole planet off the
But
face.
he knows it's important.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know why it's important. Like, not beyond the importance of Gorman as a system. He knows it's important to the Empire to do all of this. The fact that Miro is assigned to that indicates like, oh no, there's something big happening here. Right. That kind of fuels some of it. But it is just kind of, I mean, I know he had the whole speech with Lonnie in season 1, but there was just like a level of like, oh man, you're really fucked, dude. Like,
Yeah,
he's willing.
and I mean,
it you know what? It reminded me of what was my man that he's the dude that they sent on a suicide mission, and when Saul finally said, "Okay, I'll go," and it's like, "No, that's cool." It's like, he's gonna get caught though. I was like, "Yeah," and you know it. It's like, "Yeah."
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean, he has always been ruthless. That's not a doubt. And Cassian, the thing that's fascinating to me about this whole conversation is that Cassian is 100% accurate. Like he's fully right, but he doesn't have an alternate plan. Like there's no solution to what the Gormans are doing.
Right.
They can't sit there and take it. You know, like that's not going to do it either. They're not going to be able to wait out the Empire. So,
Right.
and you know, with the benefit of hindsight, we know that Luthen is right in that the Gorman massacre is a crucial step towards the rebellion getting to where it needs to go.
Yeah, I mean, yes, and also still awful. This is all
I
very
know.
awful.
It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's, you know, it's like he and Krennic or Dedra had the exact same goal.
Yep. And
like, this is what we need to happen in order for my big picture plans to move forward.
And again, the people of Gorman, y'all are screwed either way.
Yeah, it's a no-win scenario for them. So Syril returns to Coruscant for some freaky lights off sex with Dedra, dude.
Well, like, what are we doing? I mean, I was like, what? Because she kisses him on the cheek, like, and then all of a sudden it's like, turn the lights out.
Yep.
And Cyril's like, but I only have 1 hour. She's like, turn the lights out. I was like, oh, are they about to do the freaky diggy?
Yes, master. You know, like someone in the chat last episode said, like, is there a sub-dom relationship dynamic going on between the two of them? Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Syril is definitely a power bottom. Like, this shit is getting interesting. And
now it's a power bottom.
I don't have time to explain the sexual politics of the galaxy right now. We'll move forward. So they go to present their intel to Major Partagaz. And this scene, again, another banger. So Syril chomping at the bit, right? He says they're inexperienced but very eager. He says that. Yeah. And Partagaz gives him a look and says, how often those attributes align? Bars.
Okay. Who did you think he was talking about?
Syril.
I thought he was talking about Miro. Because she got real uncomfortable when he said that.
Well, it's okay. Syril says that. Partagaz says that. Looks at him, looks at Dedra. Dedra does this like eyebrow pop.
Yeah.
Like her one eyebrow goes,
Yeah.
and then later his one eyebrow goes, and so they both did this like freakish eyebrow
Yeah.
pop thing. But yeah, it could be Dedra, it could be Syril, it could be both of them. I think
It
that's
could be
part of what
both of them.
makes them a perfect match.
Yes, they are both. She's not anymore, but at the beginning, she was inexperienced, right? And crossing protocols and doing things the wrong way because she was so eager, which was exactly what Syril was doing on Morlana 1, right? He was basically defying orders because he was too eager to show and to try to seek approval.
Yeah, people in the chat, she's probably his first girlfriend. Cyril already showed his move in bed. So
Of
he
course.
was inexperienced and eager in bed as well, Amin. That's that goes with his resume.
Is that when he lies down? Like,
Yep. That's how he likes it. So Dedra wants them to grow bolder, and she says they need to see what winning feels like. And this was great because this is exactly what you described when we were talking about Steve Nash on Illuminati this week. Of like let the Gormans think they're winning.
Yep.
And then they'll be vulnerable because they'll be complacent.
They'll play right into our hands, right? And trying to frame them as violent and like unruly, right? It's the same thing with, when you think about civil rights protests here, right? They want to incite something. See, they're looters and all that. Like anything to justify the use of force to pacify them. So, where were we going with this?
Praises Cyril for his excellent work, and Cyril is so happy. He says, if I say this is the greatest day of my life, does it spoil everything? He just had sex. He got good feedback from his boss.
I don't think the sex had anything to do with that.
That was the appetizer. The amuse bouche.
Dude, I'm telling you, there's no part. He didn't even remember he had sex. He's 100% talking about part of gas, good boy, like basically.
And Dedra, she does this inhale, this long pause, and she says, "It's good to see you happy." And I can't get enough of these guys. I love them so much.
That's real love, man. And as you know, I love love.
They're so gross, and I am obsessed with them.
How do you think they have sex?
Whatever galaxy missionary is, dude.
Galaxy missionary.
Whatever that is. So now that Cassian's turned down the job, we got to bring in the B team. Who's that? It's Vel and Cinta, and they're reunited.
It's Vel and the murder lesbian. Shout out to Ian Campbell in the chat.
Yep, that's something, man. And they're rekindling after 2 years apart. And as soon as they rekindled their romance, I knew this shit was
live forever.
Live forever. It was.
Oh man,
tough.
Did you catch at the end of the scene in the cafe, as it's kind of fading out or whatever? The waitress or waiter comes up to Cinta and says, we'd like to order now. And she says, I'll have what she's having.
Wow. No, I missed that.
That's how you always got to have those subtitles on, man.
Hey, Miss Sally.
I was like, okay, Tony Gilroy. Yeah, but yeah, man, me too. As soon as she's like, oh man, I've been wasting my life. Like this last year really made me think with the most important thing. Like, oh, you about to die.
Yeah, Ian Campbell with a good question. Did she botch the Tay job? Why was she so vague about her injuries? We have to assume that it's something to do with that, right?
No, it's been a year. She's been on like missions nonstop, dude. I don't think it has anything to do with Tay. I think it's just another one of these missions. But also, yeah, Cinta doesn't strike me as someone who botches jobs, by the way.
Fair enough.
Like,
yeah, she's a
be murder lesbian.
She's a high class hitter, man. She takes people out.
It's the shit that Vel says to the kid at the end. Like, she's everything you fantasize about being.
So they're trying to whip these Gormans into shape, and they are mouthy and disobedient and disorganized. They're going to hit this Imperial transport. They're going to take the weapons. They're going to expose that there's an armory being built. And then they're also going to stock up on these weapons.
Yeah.
And as Cassian pointed out, everybody already knows this. So despite strict insistence that, you know what, we're going to be the only ones with blasters and you do as we say.
Of course.
Plan goes off the rails. We got one girl running off with an old lady to help her with her groceries or some shit. And then
why is this lady walking around in the middle of the night, man?
I don't know. And then we got this other guy from the
dude
meeting
from the
who had
meeting.
a lot of lip, and he gets into a little wrestling match with our man.
We need to spend a couple of minutes on Gorman body language. Right? They clap like this.
Yeah,
which
the open like
hello,
goodbye.
Like, and then fuck you is which I'm like, okay, like that's not that far off. I'm like, hey, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's
like
the Sopranos. Yeah.
So there's a struggle, and one of the guys has a blaster, even though he's not supposed to. And the guy who spoke up in the meeting was not taking any shit.
Yeah.
So
is that
they wrestle for it, and we get a stray shot, and of course, Cinta, R.I.P.
Immediately. I like that there was no like, I will always love you. No Joe Latrulio dying in role models, right?
No. Quick, speedy. She's already on the ground. And Syril is cucking, watching this whole thing through his binoculars.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't see who got shot, but he saw everything else. And
shots fired is what he heard them, so that's all that matters.
As they pack it up, Vel is giving this Gorman dude the business as he cries. It reminded me of Tom Hanks in A League of Their Own. There's no crying in a rebellion. I mean, we don't have time for this.
She basically called him a bitch, man. Like,
this is on you now. This is like skin. She was everything that you have daydreamed about, like you said. Yep. So
damn, that's one way to destroy someone.
Heavy shit, dude. So that's how.
You know what I thought was, I expected, and then it didn't happen, and I kind of liked that it didn't happen. I thought she was gonna be like, I thought we said no guns. I thought, and it was like, nah, it doesn't matter, man. She dead. Like, me. But like we knew they weren't gonna follow. And as soon as like in the meeting, him and the blonde chick, they were just being dicks, man. Little petulant children, you know.
Yeah, and Cassian, sniffed that out immediately. Like these dudes are not ready for prime time, and them stealing a bunch of guns isn't gonna help the cause. So we'll see what goes on with them going forward. But that is the end of the arc there. I thought it was gonna go worse, and I thought Vel and Cinta were gonna go down. So losing one of them in this kind of amateur hour scenario was
that was the funny thing, because it gets no more amateur than there wasn't even a firefight, bro.
No,
like you literally did this just to yourself.
Yeah, it's a Plaxico burst, essentially. Like you shot yourself
Empire,
in the leg.
The Empire, what they gave you good intel, right? They leaked real info. They weren't going to try and capture you. They wanted you to get away with it, and you still managed to fuck it up. It's something else. But Maze, we have held off for too long from the best part of the 3-episode arc, 4, 5, 6, which is Saw Gerrera's crazy ass, man. This dude out of control.
Yeah. So Wilman, our guy, son of Puck,
hold on, Wilman, or as Saw calls him, Wilmon.
He gets sent to Saw with their Rhydonium fuel pipe siphon, and his job is to train somebody and how to use it. It's very complicated. There's a lot of variations. Yeah. And so Saw wants him to teach this guy Pluty. And Wilman tries to push back. He says, no, I'll train him in one. Yeah. I'm supposed to be back home. And Saw says, nuh-uh.
Yeah.
No, you live here now.
Yeah. But I love it that he's like, I'll train him in the whatever one you guys are gonna do. I'll train him in that one. And Saw, of course, is like, no, I can't tell you that. You got to train him in all. And so Will tries to train the dude, and it's hard, man. The shit ain't easy.
And the best part is, if you mess it up, you die.
You die. Not only die, everyone dies.
Yeah.
Everybody dies, right?
Yep. No big deal.
So Pluty realizes how hard this is, goes to Saw, says, yo, this shit is impossible, man. I can't learn all of these things and be proficient at it. You think it's just 8 setups, but each setup has like infinite amount of like little variations and things like that. And so he's like, Saw, just tell me which one it is and I can learn that one. And so Saw tells him, and then calls the two of them, like, okay, you ready? All right, cool. And he shoots Pluty.
Yeah, after implying that once they're done with Willman, he was gonna close off that loose end.
Yeah.
So we're expecting Willman to go down. So the way you're saying it is, you don't think Pluty's a spy.
No, I think Saw is just crazy.
Pluty just ran his mouth. Yeah.
Saw, like, you think like Saw and Luthen are kind of like the same kind of guys. Like, are you useful to me? No. Then you can't be around, right? Like, you are a liability, right? So at first you're right. He's like, train Pluty, and when he's done training Pluty, we'll fucking kill him because he's already seen our operation. He's seen who we are and all that stuff. We can't trust him, right? But then he realizes that Pluty is incompetent. This guy's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So why would I have him train someone to be? It's like the NBA trade thing. Is like, why would I not trade Chet Holmgren for Giannis Antetokounmpo? Right? Like, oh, one day Chet Holmgren might be almost as good as Giannis Antetokounmpo, or I can get the actual Giannis Antetokounmpo right now. Like, why wait? So the same thing. It's like, I could wait for Pluty to become almost as good as this kid, or I have this kid right here, and Pluty becomes expendable. And because Saw knows that his partisans, they all feed off of this same kind of paranoia that he has himself, all you gotta do is, he's a traitor. Shoot him in the head.
Yeah, and I think either way works. I like your version. I read it as he was a spy, because why would he ask for the location? And then of course Saw is like, we're not even going there. We're going the other side of the galaxy. Like, ha! You'll never catch me.
And it's like, we're gonna be feasting on Idonium, which again is a highly toxic, highly explosive thing.
Yeah.
But like the way Saw talks about it is, it's like a shot of fireball or whatever.
I mean, this is I love the smell of napalm in the morning as we
this is a little bit more than that, because he actually loves the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yes. He puts napalm in his coffee cup. So we go on the mission. Willman's doing it.
By the way, again, as we established, highly toxic, highly flammable, highly explosive. Any false move, the whole thing blow up, kill everybody. So Willman's trying to concentrate on this, and Saw is giving a rambling life story. The jungles of Onderon.
This epic monologue about working at a labor camp where old men get burned up into bones.
Hold on, no droids, no beasts, only men. And that's as I was like, men, just men, strong, strapping men,
just naked men in the jungle, sweaty.
We were naked. It is the rambling.
82.
He's just crazy, man.
And that's when he first encountered the vapors of Rhydonium, and the quote, "She's my sister, Rhydo, and she loves me. That itch, that burn."
And again, that is,
she wants to explode.
It's like, you might say, oh, that's a weird comp or whatever. But also it's made even weirder because Saw's whole radicalization started when his sister died, as they were fighting the Confederacy of Separatists, right? Like, the Separatists were on Onderon. Onderon was not a Republic planet, so they couldn't officially help the Onderonians in their fight against the Separatists. So Ahsoka and Anakin go to just train them in counter-terrorism or counter whatever. Like basically, they did what the CIA did in Afghanistan in the 80s. Like, hey, we can't officially come here and fight the Soviets for you. So what we're gonna do is we're going to train you guys in these tactics that'll help you beat a bigger, stronger force. That's why Saw is so great at being a rebel, because he was trained how to do this pretty much by the Republic.
Remember this moment, this perfect night. You think I'm crazy? Yes, I am. Revolution is not for the sane. Look at us, unloved, hunted, cannon fodder. We'll all be dead before the Republic is back, and yet here we are. And of course, he's 100% right about that.
Yeah.
So then Willman's like, all right, let me get some of that. He takes his mask off and takes a deep breath, and he looks like he's gonna die.
I'm like, what are you doing, buddy?
What are you doing? He's this close to death, and he's also probably higher than he's ever been in
oh my God,
his entire life.
But it's funny because Saw, I wonder how much of Saw's insanity is a little too obvious to us because we know where the story ends up. Because the people, the partisans, they really fuck with Saw, man. They follow him through thick and thin, especially my man Two Tubes, man. Two Tubes
is a lunatic.
Oh my God, he's 10 toes down. He's 2 tubes and 10 toes
Two Tubes
down.
is the Dylan Brooks of Saw Gerrera's organization, dude. He's ready to go.
You know, he's Draymond. He's the Draymond, because there is a level of competency to Two Tubes that I think Dylan Brooks kind of lacks at times.
So he finishes it off with, that's freedom calling. Let it in, let it run wild. And what he's doing with his voice,
it's
these lines.
You know what? It reminds me of like those Rick and Morty episodes where Rick just rants at the end. It's you and me, Morty. 100 years, 100 years,
100 years, Morty.
Like that's
100
exactly
years, you and me, Rido.
He's just saying that, and Will is all the way in on it. Will's all the way in on it.
This also retroactively gives us context for why Saw's lungs are so fucked up.
My kid asked, "Is that why he has a CPAP machine in Rogue One?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense."
Yeah, it's a crazy scene. What do you think the effects are going to be on Willman?
See, Angie's in the chat says Willman never going back to that farm girl.
Nope, on to bigger and better things, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 2 tubes straight huffing that gas all day. This is WVU grad.
Yep.
Also, CNG, when we were talking about in the jungle, said we were hanging dong out there. It's like when Danny McBride talked about righteous gemstones, and like, yeah, I like to hang dog. Like we hang dog on gemstones. That's what we do.
Oh shit, man.
So then the last plot line, really, I mean, there's a little bit of Mon Mothma like trying to recruit people for the Senate. God.
Getting shut down.
Not happening.
By the Gormans. That's the worst part. The Gormans said no.
We can't risk it, basically, is what they say.
Oh, they said, like, I already told my people, be cool. Well, if I do this shit, then I'm not gonna be cool. She's trying to get the what's it, the Pord
which is
initiative.
What sent Cassian to jail in the last season. So Clea discovers that there's a bug in Davos, that a bug in Davos Skulton's collection could be compromised, because he finds out one of his pieces is fake. He's going to have his whole collection, and a tirade to his assistant. He essentially flips out and is like, I need everything checked. Like, and they can't let that be compromised. So now they got to go to his party and remove this device on the fly in the open. And Luthen like rants at her about how they're drowning in information and intel. They're spread too thin. Like, what's it all for? He's having a little freak out moment. She's like, calm down. We have to focus on what we actually need to do, which is go get this bug so that we don't get our cover blown. There's also that scene where Cassian rolls up on Luthen at his shop because he was talking to Bix behind Cassian's back, and Luthen's like, you're acting reckless right now, my dude. Like, please please control yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I'll pretend that you dropped off this messenger package, but you got to chill.
But I love how, because when Cassian went to Gorman, they would say wild shit and he would stay in character. Right now he comes over here and he's saying wild shit, and Luthen goes, "Oh, thank you for bringing the. You can now take it." And Cassie looks at him like, not unlike Jim Carrey in Truman Show when he's talking to his wife about like, I feel like this shit ain't real or whatever, and she's like, "You have some more cocoa," and he's like,
Ovaltine.
"What are you talking about? Who are you talking to?" Like, that's exactly how Cassian took it. Like, what are you talking about? You're insane.
So
I love. First of all, a couple things. Number one, I love the paparazzi droid.
Yeah, that was a lot of flashes. That was crazy.
Dude, it's 17 million cameras, and like Senator Mothma. It's like it just kept yelling. Number two, I like that. Is it Hearth and Lonnie?
Yeah,
being invited to a party with an open bar, and Hearth, who you remember in season 1, he was Miro's
Dedra's
assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they got the same lapel thing, right? So the idea of him being like, this is his first rodeo, pretty much. Like, I've had 3 of these. He's like completely getting drunk at the thing. But the show stealer, the scene stopper, my man Krennic, man.
Yep. Guess who's waiting in the artifacts room? It's Krennic, and we get this absolutely riveting back and forth between Krennic and Mothma that sums up essentially everything that this show is about. And all this is happening while Clea is cutting into her hand trying to get this listening device out, and they're doing the heist on Gorman. And so they're talking about the Battle of Carmine, and Krennic says insurgencies have a long history of puffing up their failures. Mothma says, we were taught it was a systematic execution. Well, that is exactly my point. Criminals love to lie. After all, who wants to die for lawless ineptitude? Mothma, you seem fixated on defining people by their resistance to power. Krennic, words do still have meaning, as I'm sure we can still agree on that. Mothma wants to know, what's the word for people like the Carmine who simply wish to be left alone? That's when Davos Skulden tries to jump in with vulnerable. They're vulnerable. Krennic says, what's the word for people who skin trespassers alive? Well, they have their own code of conduct. And then finally, bam. My rebel is your terrorist. Something like that. That's the line. What a swell party this is. So this is the entirety of the rebellion, but this is essentially exactly the same thing that's about to go down on Gorman.
Right. Pretty much. It's their justification for whatever violent tactics used to reign control. But Krennic takes like it's funny, like when I listen to Partagaz is like, he's just a guy doing his job. He does his job very well. But like there's almost like a logic to it. Whereas Krennic he seems sadistic. Like he really believes, like Partagaz is like, hey man, they want us to clear Gorman out. How do we make it so that we're justified in this? And Krennic seems to like actually believe, no, these people are beneath us, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. It's more, and we know kind of from context of Rogue One that like it's not only that Krennic wants to be good at his job. He really believes this shit. He's drinking the Kool-Aid with enthusiasm on this stuff. And yeah, but the opposition of him and Mothma, right? Because you get the impression that both of them are like higher class galactic citizens. Like they both had a life of privilege. It's not like,
I mean, look where they are.
Tough. Yeah.
Look at the party they're at. Like this is exactly the elite that we're talking about, right? Whatever side of the thing you stand on.
And Ben Mendelsohn ate it up. I mean, it was great. And they get the bug out, and as they walk out, Luthen and Clea, haha, what if we shot him?
Yeah.
You should have. You should have, and you blew it. Like you could have done a lot more damage right then. And
but it's funny because to them he's just some Imperial asshole. They don't realize that he's behind like the biggest, most destructive project in the galaxy.
Yeah, they don't even know how serious he is.
Yeah.
And as the episodes wrap up, we've got Bix and Cassian. This is so. Was your read on this that this was what Luthen organized to kind of throw them a bone?
Yeah, well, throw them a bone to work together, but more importantly, to help Bix get some closure.
Yeah. So
like this is how we're gonna get Bix right.
She goes in, Dr. Gorst's office, kills him, quick, efficient, smooth with it, walks out, kills a guard. As they walk away, Cassian hits the detonator, they blow it up, boom. We're back. That's a win. That's a win for Bix, an important one. Hopefully not her last, but very possibly her last win.
Yeah. So I think we have wrapped that up. Where do you think the next? We know it's a year later, so it's going to be 2 BBY.
Mm-hmm. I think this is Gorman. I think this is the Gorman massacre. The next 3.
The Gorman massacre, which not to be confused with the other Gorman massacre, which they call the Tarkin massacre.
Mm-hmm.
Which, when I found out what the Tarkin massacre was,
parking,
dog, that's crazy. Like I thought the Tarkin massacre was like it was something like they cracked down on whatever, and nope, just didn't feel like parking anywhere else. And these people didn't want to get out the way, so land on them.
It's
insane,
friggin' crazy, dude. Like they built a monument in the center of town, which is also he parked in the center of town. He dropped his ship right there. Yeah. There's a crowd below. Whatever. I need to get off this ship. It's something else, man.
Ian Campbell says next 3 episodes are written by repeat offender Dan Gilroy for 2 for the money.
That's right. Yeah, Tony's brother. In the watch episode, he had some fun joking about how Dan never left Los Angeles, so he wasn't really in London in the shit like Tony was.
Yeah.
But Twisted Kisser, are we getting Galen Erso? I mean, we talked about this at the beginning. Like,
yeah,
we don't think so. I mean, if it is, it'll be brief, but like, because what it would be is it would be a scene between Galen and Krennic, and I don't think that's what this show's about.
Yeah, I mean, we already did that.
Yeah,
we already did that in Rogue One. So, like I said, it might be just like a like walking past his desk thing or some shit.
WVU grad says Tony said the massacre takes place over 5 episodes. I mean, there's 6 left, so that'd be kind of hard to. Also, I'm pretty sure that the last 3 are another year later, so I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's already begun.
But yeah, anything that you really want to see?
I want more Saw. I want to get all the Saw in, man. Like just crazy ass Saw. I want to see Woman get radicalized, become a partisan. I want to see what else I want to see. I don't know, man. Like it's cool to just sit back and be like, entertain me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know what I want? I want more Dedra, Syril.
Yeah.
Whatever I can get.
Mom, want more mom.
More mom dropping by, you know.
Oh, I'll tell you what I want. I want more Good Morning Coruscant. I need it.
I like how when Syril went back to see his mom, he ate the cereal again. Did you notice that?
Yep.
Still got the cereal he likes. Because he's emotionally 12 years old.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for us here. I've got a live show to prepare for tonight at Soho House in West Hollywood in LA, and then Saturday we have the live show at Slick Studios Tickets are still available. If you're a Patreon, patreon.com/countthethings. Make sure you tapped in, get 25% off. Come out, say what's up. We're gonna do Cinephobe live. We're gonna do Count the Things live. We're gonna do Bomb, the very last episode of Bomb live. So if you're in the LA area, please come out. We want to see you. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna have drinks afterward. Everyone's gonna have a great time. For Darth Cornpuzzle, I'm Darth Amin, reminding you to calibrate your enthusiasm. It's an assignment.
They're inexperienced but very eager.